Getting the job at the Phanatic was not something that was planned. I was going to the University of Delaware, fulfilling the dream. All I wanted to do, as long as I could remember, is to play football for my father and be a coach just like my dad. And Tubby Raymond was an icon, and my father was the first one who said, hey, you know, being a coach isn't necessarily what I've demonstrated. And I said, hey, I can help you get a job with the Phillies, and you could see what working in sports might be like. When I put the first costume on, my first lesson was, hey, be as silly and stupid as you can possibly be, because they're paying you for that and you want to keep your job. And then the evolution of this power of fun started to emerge. I had the fortune of this great job. It started in 1978. It's amazing the places that it took me, and the Phanatic continues 40 years later. I left the Phillies in '94 to pursue a career as an entrepreneur. We're in the business of what we call character branding, and we want our clients to recognize that it's not just a kid in a suit, it's a living, breathing brand extension. So our first service is to start with what we call a mascot intervention, where we sit down and we talk about alignment, some teaching, and then the understanding the benefits of storytelling. They have to create a basic backstory, and we start drawing. And that's the design process. We go through whatever drawings it takes to get them to say yes. Then we help them with varied services for the rollout of the character, finding and training great talent. When I first went out as the Phanatic, we didn't have a story. So we told a very simple tale that he was a Darwin experiment gone awry, that his species grew up, and it wasn't even accepted in the Galapagos Islands. So the Phanatic was sent out on a mission for acceptance, and he found the city of brotherly love. The Flyers reached out to me and he said, we're ready to go, how do we start? So I tell them, if we do these three things first, commitment, storytelling, and we get a great design, it'll be successful.
The Flyers had seen some work I had done for Chick-fil-A, and they liked the edginess of the mascot that I had drawn. I was tasked with drawing a series of sketches of concepts for Gritty. They hired me to create what's called a turnaround, which is Gritty from the front, side, and back, so that Character Translations, the costume company, could create him as a costume. When the Flyers art directors contacted me, they really gave me a lot of freedom. Their exact words, I think, was they wanted the mascot to be something that you would want to high five, but not hug. So we knew that he had to be tough, because he's a hockey mascot, but he also had to be kind of cuddly because he's appealing to kids. So I spent a few days just doing as many really quick sketches as I could, and I came up with, I think, around like 25 completely different things. Throughout the whole process, they kept kind of going like too scary, and then we'd scale it back, and then he was too cuddly, and we just kept doing a little bit of back and forth, taking things away, adding things, until we came up with something that looked like Gritty. Eventually we went back to their original direction, which was just an anonymous creature, like a big fluffy monster that at the time wasn't named Gritty, but it's funny, the art directors kept using the word Gritty to describe him. They're saying, we need him to be gritty and tough, and the name stuck, and it really was perfect for him.
Storytelling is really at the keystone of success with developing any character. The Flyers came back with this idea that he was a troll, and he's lived in these catacombs that were under the spectrum. And he's worked his way over to the new stadium. We didn't know him until we started disturbing his environment with more alterations with the stadium. Unknowing to us, this entity was defacing all the stuff we were working, but he was defacing with Go Flyers, or Flyers stickers, or Flyers pennants. And they staked it out, the facility, and they caught him. Look at that. He's a dyed-in-the-wool fan. You know what? Our fans have got to meet you.